Let's talk about ancient Mesopotamia in today's training session notes. As always, remember that we are just skimming the surface on this. Dive a little bit deeper into everything we look at with your own research. Our objective for these training session notes is to understand the history and significance of key ancient Mesopotamian cities with a focus on Babylon and its contributions to civilization as a whole. When we talk about Mesopotamia, we have to use several terms that are going to come up over and over and over and over again, many of which you've probably heard if you've looked at Mesopotamia at all. A definition for Mesopotamia is that it is meaning the land between the rivers, a term to know. It refers to the region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Remember the rivers, they'll come up constantly. Its historical importance is that it's often called the cradle of civilization due to its early developments in writing, law, and urbanization. And you can know that modern day Iraq and parts of Syria, Turkey, and Iran are the area of Mesopotamia today. Now, when we talk about Mesopotamia, we have to talk about the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Civilization tends to grow up around rivers, and they did in this area. These rivers provided water for irrigation, enabling rapid agriculture and the growth of cities to just kind of spring up and grow. You have to have water for your civilization, particularly early on, to flourish. And this area had the Tigris and Euphrates to make that happen. The rivers flow from the mountains of eastern Turkey through Iraq and into the Persian Gulf, and they had the impact on civilization in that they created this fertile land between the rivers known as the Fertile Crescent, and it supported the development of civilizations there. Know the term Fertile Crescent. Know the terms cradle of civilization and land between the rivers, and that these happened because of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Now let's look at the city of Babylon. Approximately 55 miles south of Baghdad, Iraq today would be where the city of Babylon was. Its historical significance is that it was the capital of ancient southern Mesopotamia and a major center of culture and politics. You might have heard of Hammurabi, known for creating one of the earliest and most complete written legal codes, the Code of Hammurabi. Its key facts include that he was the sixth king of the first Babylonian dynasty, reigned from 1792 to 1750 BC, and that his code is one of the oldest deciphered writings of significant length in the world. You'll see it brought up very frequently talking when you're talking about early civilizations and code and law and things like that. Some Babylonian of achievements would be architecture. It's famous for the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, which was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Astronomy, there was significant advancements in this field, developing early methods of timekeeping and celestial navigation. For literature, you have things like the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is one of the earliest known works of literary fiction. Some key facts about these: the Hanging Gardens of Babylon were an extraordinary series of tiered gardens said to be built by Nebuchadnezzar II, and the Epic of Gilgamesh was an epic poem from ancient Mesopotamia regarded as one of the earliest great works of literature. You'll see it as one of the oldest in existence brought up when you study a little bit deeper into ancient lit. The city of Uruk, its location is that it was situated in modern day Iraq near the Euphrates River. Its historical significance is it was one of the first major cities in human history, flourishing around 4500 BC. And you have notable ruler as Gilgamesh, a legendary figure and the subject of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Some key facts: you need to know the term a ziggurat. It's a massive structure built in ancient Mesopotamia with a terraced step design, often serving as a temple complex. And know that this is one of the biggest early developments in city planning and large scale construction. Before this growth of civilization here, the concept of cities like this it didn't reach this level. Some other Mesopotamian innovations you should know about is agriculture. They developed advanced irrigation techniques to manage the water supply from the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. In mathematics, they created a base 60 number system, which led to the 60-minute hour and 360-degree circle. And that law and governments established some of the first known legal codes and bureaucratic systems. Some modern significance to this area is that with current geography, it's now part of modern day Iraq, which continues to be influenced by this history, and there's many historical things left over that you can still view today. Its cultural heritage is that many ancient sites and artifacts from Mesopotamia are preserved and studied, providing insight into these early human civilizations. And some challenges that the region faces modern challenges such as political instability, environmental issues, and preservation of historical sites. Let's go ahead and get into our question to wrap up our quick review of Mesopotamia. The ruins of the capital of ancient southern Mesopotamia can be found about 55 miles from Baghdad. Which of the cities below was the capital of Hammurabi and the place to where the Jews were exiled from Judah? Looking at the answer to that, we're going to see that the answer is Babylon. Babylon was the capital of ancient southern Mesopotamia, home to Hammurabi, and known for its significant cultural and political influence. Persepolis was the capital of the Achaemenid Empire in Persia. Nippur was an important religious center in ancient Mesopotamia, but not a capital. And Uruk was one of the first major cities in Mesopotamia, known for its early urban development. It wasn't the capital. That's going to go ahead and wrap up our review today of ancient Mesopotamia. Remember to dive a little bit deeper into these cities and some of the terms we ran into today. Thank you for listening. We'll wrap up there.